What's up guys, my name is TechnoTuner and today I'm bringing to you my live test hands video of For Hire. I just wanted to show it off a little bit and show you what the deck can do so you can get a feeling for it as the time comes up for the support to drop. This basically is going to be more of an intro sort of aspect to the deck, so if you're looking towards on how to get this deck really up and running or how it really operates, this is a good refresher or a good starting point. Anyways, this deck has a lot of further board state capability of being able to summon out a lot of monsters, but also setting up negation and further interaction to where it's feeling more like a balanced gameplay. This deck is probably the best definition I can say of a fair and balanced deck to where your opponent's still allowed to do things, but you still have capability of fighting back and having further plays against that. This deck has a wide range of different options you can do, from K9 for hire to I think I watched one person do Evil Eye for hire. There's a lot of different things that you can do with this deck. Anyways, let's go ahead and hop right into our test hands, where I'm going to show us setting up a board going first twice and then our final hand going second. So let's go ahead and hop right into it, folks. All right, so our going first hand, let's see what we get. We get Seal Strategist for hire, Dyna Hero for hire, Philo Messenger for hire, Dampa Marksman for hire, and then finally Beat Bladesman for hire. All right, so from this, we can do a decent amount. First up, we're going to go ahead and normal summon that Beat, and then activate the effect to special summon another. In this case, our best bet would be to summon the Dampa, trigger the Beat, to get us either A Helmer, or B, the Raphael. I kind of want Raphael so I can use his capability when he is summoned, so we can set the full board and then look at the top top four and see how we're going through this. Next, we're going to go ahead and use Dampa, special summon Seal, you know where this is going, then Seal to summon Philo, and then Raphael summon off of Philo. So since we don't have anything in our graveyard, we don't really have the effects of Seal or Philo for their secondary effects, but we do have Raphael, where we can look at the top four of different types and see what we can get. So we do have a Mavrika, a Recon, and a Seal. We're going to go ahead and grab that Recon because it's the only one we don't currently have right now. Then we're going to take Philo, Seal, and Dampa. Actually, we'll take Beat and keep Philo around. Take these, go directly into our full go. We'll then get full go effect. We'll be able to summon one from our deck in defense position as of a different type. In this case, we'll go ahead and summon the Helmer. Since A for hire was special summon, we can then use Philo effect. Philo effect is we can target one for our monster in our graveyard, special summon it in defense position. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and special summon the Seal. Since we had Helmer effect, Helmer was on the board and Seal special summon, we'll go ahead and pitch the Dyna to draw an additional card. We get the Fandora. We'll go ahead and activate the Fandora. We'll next take Philo and Helmer and go into our Donner, Dagger for hire. So since another one was special summon, we'll go ahead and get Seal effect to add back to our hand. We can either do Dyna, or if we're wanting more card draw, we'll go Helmer. If we want that monster pop, we'll get Dampa. We're going to go ahead and get, actually, probably Philo for next turn, so we have that capability of actually getting a little bit further. Now, we can only special summon a monster once per turn off of the Seal effect, but we can still utilize the effect of Dagger, being able to, Donner, to tribute one monster, special summon one for hire monster from our hand or graveyard with a different original name than the tributed. Then if we tributed a link monster, we can special summon an additional. But we're going to tribute the Seal to summon the Recon, just to special summon it out, so we can have an extra body on board. Or we could have just kept the Recon in hand and specialed out the Dyna, which would help us out a lot because this gets us a little bit extra aggro. Then, since we have the Fandora already up on the board, Fandora, we can give up our normal draw and add a monster for hire from our deck to our hand. But if we control 5 or more for hire with different names, we can send this card from the field to the grave and then destroy all cards our opponent controls. But it doesn't really matter on that effect. But right now we do have pretty good sized bodies on the board for the actual turn 1 for this deck. Now do note that we could continue from here and really just go further if we wanted to. We don't have to because we're looking at needing a link 3 or an additional link 2, but I don't really want to push for further interruption or interaction right now because we don't really have the capabilities of going into our Tri-Brigade Shiraig, Ominous Omen, or the Unchained Abomination, given that Folgo can't be used for a link material. Folgo is really good, but he does kind of give us a little bit of an issue. Now, even though we do have Raphael on board, he is our only monster negate. We do have where we can banish cards from our opponent's graveyard if they have cards in the graveyard, but usually that doesn't come up anyways, so we're kind of stuck there as well. The other thing that I will note is Donner. Even though we can tribute a monster and summon one, we can't really do anything else from there. We could have went the recon line, but we wouldn't be setting up or summoning anything really extra, but we could. So if we, instead of did Dinah, did recon, we can do recon to summon Philo and then take these 3, excuse me, and go directly into our Shuraig, the Ominous Omen. Because we did have a Wing Beast, a Beast, and a Beast Warrior. So we could go into him and set up where it's a banish, but that's more of a board breaking sort of deal. For that, the other option would have been more than likely just to go with Donner into Nightmare Sur. So what we could have also done instead of this one was take these two, go into Nightmare Cerberus, then take Nightmare Cerberus and Donner and Dagger. And instead of going into Shuraig, we could have set up Avermax as well, which gives us a further access to more board protection, but it turns our hand into a only 1 negate, which can further help hurt us, but we do get that extra setup as well, which can further help us out with the protection on the board. Because Avermax is a little hard to out. But he is a bit hard to out if he's already established on the board, which is understandable. He is meant to be a boss monster unto himself, but nonetheless, we are kind of setting pretty good on what we have currently and don't really have to worry. But there are several different lines in which you could have done there. One in which we could have ended on Shuraig, the other we could have ended on Dinah to have that aggro towards Dinah. There's a lot there that you can further work with and further improve. That's all I have for this first test hand. Let's go ahead and hop right into our next one. So for our first test hand, we got Beat Bladesman for hire, Psychic Racer Laser, Seal Strategist for hire, Raphael, Champion for hire, and Recon Scout for hire. Of course, we're going to go ahead and first start off with that Beat Bladesman for hire during your main phase, special summon for hire monster. We're going to go ahead and summon our Recon. Then we can trigger Beat, since a for hire was summoned, add 1 monster for hire from our deck to our hand. In this case, we're going to go ahead and add not a Bravo, but a Helmsman. Where is the Helmsman at? We're going to add Helmer. All right. So, next up, we're going to go ahead and activate Recon Effect to summon Helmer. Helmer will then allow us to go ahead and special summon Seal. Then we can discard 1 card. We'll discard Raphael and draw a card. Funny enough, we get the Raphael back. So, we'll next activate Seal Effect to summon Raphael. Now, this is the fun part. We can go into Donner, or the other option we can do is go directly into Folgo. In this case, it'd be more fun to go into Folgo, so we're going to go ahead into Folgo using Seal, Helmer, and Recon. and go into full go. Now, the one thing I did forget here is that before we do that, we do have an effect. So it'd be this, or whatever. It's this. Okay. Raphael, when special summoning, you can excavate the top cards of your deck equal to the number of monsters for higher you control with different names. So it's 5, or well, technically 4, which is Raphael is not counted in this. So we're going to excavate top 4. Then we can add one of them. We'll go ahead and add Bravo. And then shuffle the rest back into our deck. Then since one was special summoned, Seal gives us back Raphael. Now this is where we go directly into our full go using these 3. Different types, Aqua, Beast, and Beast Warrior. All right, we'll go into our full go. And then we'll activate the effect to special summon a monster for higher with a different type than that. In this case, probably want to go for the Rex for higher. Summon Rex. Rex, if this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 spell or trap. So we're going to go ahead and add our Mayhem for higher. Which can help us out a lot here. And then we're going to go ahead and activate Mayhem for higher, reviving back our Helmer. Summon it in defense position. Then we'll link these 2 away. Go directly into our Donner. Target 1 monster. We can do that. Or what we can do, let's go ahead and tribute the beat to summon the Bravo. And then we have another thing that we can utilize here, which is the Rex effect, where we can banish this card as a quick effect from our graveyard and either add to our hand or special summon a for higher monster. We're going to go ahead and banish it and add the beat back for next turn. So right now we're already setting at a pretty decent board here. But the other option we do have is if we want to keep beat in the graveyard, we can special summon back the Seal. And then it gives all our monsters a 500 attack since a for higher monster was special summoned. We give all our for higher monsters 500 attack and defense until the end of this turn. But we'll take these 2, overlay them into our Time Thief Redoer. So we already have a bit of interaction here. So we have a monster negate. We have the Time Thief Redoer. We have Donner. And then we have full go. While we also do have a couple other cards in our grave to further our effects if we need to for recovery. But we did set up a pretty decent board starting off. So, well, outside the monster negate and the potential draw 2 or draw 3, dependent on full go, and the pop and the rip from Time Thief Redoer, what else do we have? Not much. So we're still resistant, or we're still weak to spells and traps for outing our board, but we do have a decent amount of damage on board nonetheless. Anyways, let's go ahead and look at our next going first test hand and see what we can do. All right, so for our final going second hand, we got Beat Bladesman for higher, Seal Strategist for higher, another Beat Bladesman for higher, a Helmer for higher, and Psychic Eraser Laser. So we already got some good capabilities to out another card, and then we draw into our second Psychic Eraser Laser, which is perfectly fine. We'll go ahead and activate 1, get rid of our opponent's monster that we really do not want to deal with. Next, we're going to go ahead and normal summon that Helmsman for higher, use its effect to special summon. We'll special summon Seal. Seal effect. not seal effect, to special summon, but we're going to activate Helmer to discard one, draw one. So we get Rex. We'll next go ahead and activate Seal to special summon Beat. Then we'll activate Beat to, Seal's effect to add back the Beat to our hand. And then we'll activate Beat effect to special summon Rex. This will trigger Beat. Beat then gets us Raphael. So we're kind of a little stuck here because while this is normal summon or special summon, we can add one spell or trap for hire from our deck to our hand. In this case, we're going to go ahead and add the Mayhem for hire. So we'll go ahead and link these two into our Donner. Yeah, so it would have been like this. Donner would then... We can then tribute one monster, special one for hire monster from our hand or graveyard with a different original name than the tributed monster. And if you tributed a link monster to activate this effect, you special summon one or more such monster. So we're going to go ahead and tribute this to special summon out Beat and Raphael. Raphael effect, Chain Mayhem for hire. We're going to bring back actually, we're not going to chain the Mayhem for hire. We're going to chain the Rex Freight for hire, banishing it to summon out the Donner from our graveyard. So we'll get 4 cards to look at off the top of our deck, which is Dampa, Wiz, Rex, and Beat. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and probably grab the Dampa. So where are we going with this? Well, we do have more capabilities. So we're going to go ahead, take Seal, Helmer, and Beat. Go directly into our Full Go. Full Go effect to summon. We're going to go ahead and summon a Bravo to our board. Then we're going to activate Bravo to summon Dampa. Bravo will boost everything by 500. We'll activate that Mayhem for hire. Bring back a Beat. And then Dampa lets us pop one face-up card on the field, which can help us out a lot. All right. So, we're setting at 33, 29, 21, 1,000, 24, and 12. Is there a way we can further extend up into this? We do have capability going into 5-headed Link Dragon at this point. It is funny, but we don't really have the option right now to really fully utilize it. Because Full Go cannot be used as link material. But we'll go to battle, and then we would swing with Raphael. If a card your opponent controls is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can draw 1 card. Then if you control 3 or more monsters for hire, you draw an additional 2. So we're going to draw 2 more. So we already got the Dyna hero for hire and the Bravo fighter for hire again. So we have other plays in which we can do here. Plus we drew into another Psychic Eraser Laser, which isn't really going to do us any good, but that's until next turn. That's fine. Then we would go 29 in, 24, 21, 1,200, and 1,000. That'd be lethal if there's nothing on board for our opponent, but We also do have the full capability of taking Dampa, Donner, and Beat to go into Unchained Abomination, and then utilize Unchained Abomination effect to where when another monster is destroyed by battle, this is if we did this instead of going in for all the damage that we did do, because we could have done that, or we couldn't have done that just yet, but we could have at least gone into Unchained Abomination to get an extra pop if we needed to. And plus it's 3k when we're adding the 24 plus 1,000 plus 12. Yeah, we're slightly short on the damage output, but we would still have a higher attack monster than those three. But we still have that full board capability. Because we still do have access to where we go Unchained Abomination, since the card was destroyed by battle, pop it. And then during the end phase, we get an additional pop. And then if another card is destroyed by a card effect, we get to pop another card, which really does help a lot because you just pop 3 cards there and you do get further access during your opponent's turn. You also do have the monster negate with Raphael by either discarding the Dinah or the Bravo, which helps out a lot as well. So, I mean, you technically can go for an OTK status if they had nothing on board, because you have 33, 3k, so that's 63, plus the 29, that is over lethal, plus a 24, which is way over lethal, because that's pushing it into the 10 to 11,000 points of damage. So right there isn't that bad either. So that's basically full board capability of what it currently can do right now. Now this deck should probably be a lot better, and probably will be a lot better coming forward with the new support from the new set in January, but I at least wanted to show you guys what the old deck can still do. Still a lot of fun, still has a lot of fair play and capability. This is something I would recommend to a newer person to play if they're trying to get a feel for links, but also try to have that fair and balanced play style. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.
From all the dealings, am I astray? What do you say? How are you feeling? Is it the same?